This video is for our 1.3 homework. So if you need any help with any of these problems, then be sure to follow along with this video. So number 1 says the change in temperature from Monday to Tuesday was -6 degrees. So on Monday it was warmer, then it dropped 6 degrees. The change in temperature from Tuesday to Wednesday was another -4 degrees. So it's getting colder every day. So which one represents a greater change in temperature? So if we're thinking like, here's our thermometer, and let's just say that on Monday it was 50 degrees. So this is Monday. And then by Tuesday, it's dropped 6 degrees. So now it is 44 degrees on Tuesday. And then it drops another 4 degrees. And so then on Wednesday, it is down to 40. So we need to think about this in terms of which one is a bigger drop, not necessarily which one is the bigger number with their value. So we want to think about this in absolute value. So this had a change of 6 degrees. This had a change of 4 degrees. So even though on a number line, -6 is farther to the left, as an absolute value, it's actually more. There was a bigger change to get from 50 to 44 than there was from 44 to 40. So thinking of it as an absolute value can help us decide which one is bigger. Number 2 says new memory is added to a computer so that it can run faster. The times it takes to open a graphics program and an email program are recorded before and after the memory is added. The change in the amount of time to open the graphics program is -8 seconds. The change in the amount of time to open the email program is -5 seconds. Which one shows more improvement? So again, we're not necessarily looking at that it lost 8 seconds, that it lost 5 seconds. We want to know which one improved more. So this one we can see sped up 8 seconds and the email sped up by 5 seconds. If I think about this as an absolute value, this grew a difference of 8 seconds. This one grew 5 seconds faster. So which one is better? The one with 8 is the graphics program, got 8 seconds faster. That's more improvement, 3 seconds more than the email program. So we're just thinking, how far away is this number to 0? Negative or positive? What is its distance to 0? Number 3, in baseball, the difference in numbers of runs scored by each team is studied by players and managers. In a Monday night game, the difference in the number of runs for a certain team is -3 runs. In a Wednesday night game, the difference in the number of runs for the same team is -9 runs. Which game shows the greater difference? So the first game on Monday, the difference between the runs was 3. And then on Wednesday, their difference was 9. So which one had a greater difference? Hey, this word define which number has a lesser magnitude. Remember, that is the exact same thing as our absolute value. So we're thinking of this as the distance of 1 and the distance of -6. So to get from 0 to 1, it would only take one place. To go from 0 to -6, it takes 6 steps. So which one is smaller? Well, 1, it has a smaller magnitude. So it's just the distance to 0 is less. So we're just asking ourselves which one has a closer distance to 0. So this one, -2, is going to take 2 steps to get to 0. And a 10 is going to take 10 steps to get to 0. So a -2 is closer. So that has a lesser magnitude. So that absolute value is smaller. So I'm going to let you try 6 and 7 on your own if you'd like to do those ones. Okay, absolute value, again, just like we were doing here. How many places away from 0 is it? So if you're at 2, how many places would it be to go back to 0? If you're at -3, how many places would you have to move to get to 0? So we're just thinking about that number line. How many places are you moving? And our answer is going to be positive because we're just talking about places moved. Hey, write an integer expression using absolute value symbols to represent the verbal expression. So this time we want to do the opposite of the absolute value of -8. So we're going to start here. We've got the absolute value of -8. So if I'm writing the absolute value, I'll get my marks, and -8 goes inside of that. And now I want to do the opposite of that. So right here, there's out to the front, there's nothing there. So it is positive. I'm going to make it negative. So now this time it has to be a negative answer because I want the opposite of the absolute value. So this time we want the absolute value of -8. So we have our absolute value signs, and inside of that we've got -8. Number 12 wants the opposite. So once we're done, we need to switch it to the opposite of the absolute value of 8. So inside our absolute value, we just have 8. And then out in front of that, we have our minus or a negative sign to make it the opposite. So find what is your absolute value. Do that first. Then if it has an opposite, you just stick a negative out in the front.